What can you do when your baby or young child is waking like a newborn but isn't a newborn anymore? So perhaps they're past the 6 month mark, 7, 8, 9, 10 months, up to a year or even beyond, but you're still seeing wakings throughout the night, 1 hourly, 2 hourly, or something like that, and they're no longer a newborn. What can you actually do about that? Now, this is a really common problem, and it's a question that comes up all the time, and it's one we covered recently on the Q&A live. So I'm going to hand you over to that session and replay the information that I shared on this question, because I'm hoping it's going to help so many of you with getting out of that newborn style behaviour when you're not dealing with a newborn anymore. I'm talking about a baby who is beyond the 6 month mark, so 7, 8, 9, 10 month olds and beyond, that are still sleeping in the night time like a newborn baby, so waking every couple of hours. Often that means breastfeeding or bottle feeding, but somehow then feeding every couple of hours to get back to sleep, being held and rocked and cuddled to sleep like a newborn baby, but not a newborn baby. And it's different when they're newborns. They need a lot of help, huge amount of help to get to sleep and back to sleep. But when they get bigger, they are ready and able and actually in more need of the ability to do a bit more of that settling for themselves. Now, that doesn't mean that you just suddenly decide one day that you're going to put them down and let them do it. It doesn't work like that. It's a learned skill, and it's difficult, and it's more difficult for some than it is for others. So you may have 2, 3, 4, 5 children, and the first few, no problem. You could be on your 4th or 5th child and go, what's going on this time round? I've done this before, it was all fine, and then suddenly you find that you've got a child that's got a different temperament. There's a different rule book for that child, and the things you did before that worked brilliantly just don't work this time, and you're just stuck with an 8-month-old that's waking 2 hourly in the night, and you just can't understand why. Plus you've got other young children to look after. That's just a recipe for sheer exhaustion. And then what comes with that exhaustion? It becomes, you get impatient mums, you get, which can often mean more ratty, or, maybe not, maybe you're not affected in that way, but it can bring down your health, your immune system. And you start to then regret that you're not getting the chance to give your older children the focus and the time and giving them your best you because you are just exhausted and drained by the demands of the younger ones, which to some extent that's normal and natural anyway. But when it could be better, when there is definitely room that could be improved, my question is why settle for less? Why struggle through something that could be vastly improved and so much better? So if you're one of these people who has a baby that's beyond 6 months, because there's a lot you can do in the 4th and 5th month as well, but to give you real certainty, beyond 6 months, when they're definitely cognitively ready and able to do a bit more in terms of settling, my whole ethos, if you don't already know, is about maintaining a secure attachment and doing everything so gently that it's always in line with a baby's developmental readiness. So we would never push a baby to do something that they're not ready or able to do. But we want to bring out the best in them. What if they can do a lot more, but we're sabotaging that? And that often happens. We sabotage it because we fix it for them instead of helping them to do what they actually can do. We don't let them do it. So it's all about, it's different for everybody. So this, it really is different for everybody, but it's about working out what's right for you and for your child, and then gently, easing things along and bringing out the best in that situation. So if you are struggling with newborn style sleep from a non-newborn baby, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months up to a year, or even beyond there, and they're sleeping like a newborn and waking hourly in the night or 2 hourly in the night, then it can be better. So I want you to have a look at a couple of things to get you started with that, and that is, how is your baby or young child settling to sleep at bedtime? Are they rocked, cuddled, held, or fed to sleep? Are you doing it for them? I mean entirely for them. Are you getting them so sleepy, helping them along so much that when you put them down, they might appear to be awake, then maybe they're kind of drowsy, or maybe they seem wide awake, but are they going out like a light within a couple of minutes? Because if they are, that's very quick, and they're not really self-settling, which might make you think they are, but they're not. So, you know, how are they settling to sleep? How much are you involved in that? How much are they doing for themselves? If you're doing a lot, okay, fine, at least you know where you are. First of all, we just need to know where you are, and you need to know where you are with that. Then you need to work on very gently weaning them off that help, so that you're just letting them do a little bit more. And that doesn't mean putting them down and leaving them there. It still means cuddles, it means responsive, it means keeping a secure attachment, making sure all their needs are met, making sure they're dry, fed, clean, well, loved. You know, no senses. I absolutely don't advocate any sense of leaving a baby to feel afraid or distressed. None of that is involved. Just ensuring all their needs are met. And yeah, their wants might not be. They might want to be fed to sleep, but that's not a need. Hunger is a need. Feed your baby. But being fed to sleep isn't a need, and it's actually sabotaging them. It's stifling their ability to develop an essential skill. So I'm not saying you take everything away. I'm saying we need to start to reduce and replace the things that you do that get your baby to sleep, so that bit by bit they are able to develop the skill that they're crying out for. So that's one key piece. So look at how your baby settles to sleep, because that will be completely in correlation with why they wake as much as they do and how they get back to sleep. So that's a really key piece. And the other key piece is how much sleep they get overall. If they're waking a lot, they're going to be overtired. If they're not napping enough, they're going to be overtired. And if they're overtired, you see more difficulty settling, more disturbed nights, and more chances of early rising. So it's just perpetuating. So those are like golden nuggets of information if you are able to really take that on board and process that and apply that. If it's not detailed enough for you, or you need more specific, this is my situation, what can you do? Then that's what I'm here for.